Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's stream. We have a fireside chat because it's December now and it's basically almost the end of the year. So Christmas is coming closer, so it's going to get cozy. And I'm joined today by one of my, I would call it like digital friends because we've never met in real life, Anneka.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, so great that you're here today because you're in New York right now and it's like 7 a.m. in the morning.
It is 7 a.m. in the morning. The sun is slowly coming up, as you can see behind me. When we first started, it was just pitch dark.
Yes.
You know, woke up early for this.
Yeah,
Feels
that's
good.
the commitment we want. That's amazing. Thank you so much for getting up early and being here today.
I honestly was so excited. I woke up before my alarm, 10 minutes before my alarm. I was like, is my alarm going to go off yet? Like, I was checking. I was like, wow, I'm very excited to be here today.
Yes. I remember you telling me that I should give you a call if you don't show up. And then you text me like, I'm already up like an hour early.
I was so worried that I was going to sleep through this. And I was like, Anneka, do not sleep through this. You got this.
And you didn't, and you're here. And I'm so happy because today we're going to talk about all the things that I like. It's very much, I picked this topic, but I hope you like them too. Like photography, we're going to talk about career goals, we're going to talk about internships and what's going to happen in the future. So I'm quickly just going to say hi to everyone in the chat. There's so many amazing people joining us again. John is here, Sandrine is here, Andreas is here, all these lovely viewers that we have every week. Welcome back. And I just wanted to start this stream today by just explaining quickly how Anneka and I met, because I think it shows a little bit about that social media and this digital world has some benefits to it, because I know a lot of people are always complaining about social media and stuff like that, but they're like cool communities happening, and I think we're a great example of this.
It is, yeah, it's wonderful, you know, like being connected with other photographers around the world is just absolutely amazing. You know, social media does not limit you to like just your environment, your community. Like it goes all over the world. And like, I love that you actually reached out to me, and I like love that. And like, you were very persistent in like asking me questions, you know, and then we always support each other. Like when you post and then when I post, and like, I don't know, I love it. I love that. And
yeah. Because I
we-
remember like seeing your work when you were still in LA.
Yeah.
And I was in awe because it's so great. And then we talked about lighting, and every time I needed like advice for lighting setup, like Anneka, so can you draw me on a piece of paper how I should light this photo?
Oh my God, no, I love it. I love when photographers ask me like help with lighting. I love drawing like lighting diagrams. Like, I don't know, I love sharing my knowledge because like I felt like when I was learning and I was eager, I was always asking other photographers.
Yeah, that is true. And I think it's such a great benefit of learning from others and just seeing their photos and then learning how this photo has been shot, and then trying to do it yourself, or like trying out their setup and see what works for you. That's at least how I learned a lot of stuff, like trying out things that I've seen and see what works for what I want to achieve. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And so we're going to talk a bit about your work. You're an incredible photographer. You're in New York right now, as we said, and you're originally from LA.
Yes, so I am a fashion and commercial photographer based out in New York. I'm originally from LA. That's where kind of like my career took off. And then now I'm here. It's been crazy. I moved here this year, but you know, I love it. New York is so much fun. You're supposed to come visit me.
I was supposed to.
I was so sad.
Everything was planned. Everything was booked already, and then it didn't work out. Like we all know why.
We were gonna meet up, but it's okay. We'll meet soon. You'll visit soon. I definitely want to go to Berlin.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when I first started doing photography, I like actually was working at Starbucks in college, you know, and my friend, he was shooting photography, and he would like show me all his work, and his work was like incredible, amazing, still to this day amazing. And I was like, dude, I want to shoot just like you. I want to be a good photographer, but I'm not good enough, you know? And like, you know, when you want to start photography, you get scared for some reason, you like doubt yourself in a way. But anyways, he like encouraged me. He was like, just go out and shoot. And like after that conversation, I like picked up a Rebel T3i. That was my first camera.
Yeah, you know, kind of the same model when I first started out.
Yeah. I feel like most photographers, they start off with like a Rebel T3i or like a Canon, you know, like the basic.
And the 50
Like,
lens, like the
and the 50 lens. I actually had the basic kit lens. It was like, I know, until I had enough money to buy the 50. So like my photos were like not that great, but he just kept pushing me to try and like keep practicing, and like I just ended up falling in love with it. And I switched like I was majoring in ASL, and I was like, I don't love this, you know? So I switched to photography, and that's when I started taking like photo courses, and like I'll show you my work.
and the development.
Yeah, this is like, no one has seen these photos, only on my classmates, but I'm showing you guys right now.
I just want to know how long, like, when did you start? How old are these photos?
Dude, I don't even, this is like 2015, I think. No, so 5 years ago.
6 years ago?
But
it's incredible to see how fast you can grow, you know, because I mean, also for me, if I look back 5 years, oh Jesus, that's like not great. I look like I took photos like a grandma at a birthday, you know, it was not good.
Yeah, it like, well, you can see here, like these are like my first photo classes, you know, and like you don't really have models accessible to you, so you're just asking friends, you're asking classmates. So this is where I was getting like, I guess, a little bit better in a sense.
But you were already shooting in the studio, right?
Yeah, this is when well, I was first shooting like my friends, whatever. Then when I switched my major, I immediately took a photography course. So this is like, straight off the studio, because I was always infatuated with like studio lighting, you know? That's where I wanted to go. But yeah, so this is it. And then during college, I ended up getting like an internship at like CBS Studios. And like, I was just like assisting these great photographers that like literally insanely knew everything about lighting, like to the T. And you could like, this is when my time at CBS Studios, and you could see like a progression in like my photos, you know?
Great. I like the like, it's with gels, I guess, like the blue gel.
Yeah, this one's with gel. This one was messing around with different gel lighting. So there's a blue one on this side, and I think there's like a yellow one on the other side as like a hit light. But yeah, like just doing that internship alone, like really, really helped. And you know, like when it's one thing when you're in class, like listening to a professor, but it's another thing when you're in an internship and like being hands-on, assisting them, learning from other like photo assistants. You know?
Also, Dawn says your portraits are very expressive. So I guess even in the beginning, your portraits were already good.
No, these are, I don't know. I'm like embarrassed that I'm showing these right now, but thank you.
No, I think it's great. I think I should do the same thing at some point to show just like, it's completely normal to look back and be like, all of this was pretty shit.
Yeah, no, when I was putting this together, I was like, oh my, I had to like go back into like my hard drives and find these images. And there were more, and these were like the decent ones, but I was like, wow, it's just crazy. Like when you look back when you first started, and then like your photos now, you know, and you see the development. And I think that like, that encourages you. It encourages you to like keep going.
Yeah, I also think I don't even know who it was, but someone gave me the advice to like never delete any photos you've taken. And from time to time, just look back, because then you see how far you've come. Because sometimes I also forget, like I look at my stuff that I do now. Yeah. Like, okay, it's fine. But if you compare that to even 2 years ago, there's like a huge development, or like I think so. I hope so.
No, there is. The more you practice, the more that you're gonna grow, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you did an internship at CBS?
Yeah, CBS Studio. It's the television network. I don't know if they have it in Berlin. Do they?
I don't think so, but I do not.
It's kind of like one of those huge networks that like they have everything. They have like TV shows, and then they have like the news channels, sports channel. Yeah, it's pretty.
And how did you get that internship? Like, how did that happen?
I applied through LinkedIn. Because in my head, I was like, okay, I'm learning photography at school, but I want to also be working or interning so that when I graduate college, I'll be able to like just kind of immediately just go off the bat, you know, and have like experience. So I applied on LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn is like literally where I get all my jobs from. It's a very good site for photographers. And I think what they told me what really stood out was that I had an artistic resume. So I think if you're looking for an internship or a job, it's very important to have a creative resume, because you don't want like a boring, just like a white background and then just typing out. Like, we're creative artists, we're visual artists. So we need something. Yeah. So I had like this very intricate, crazy design that was like literally kind of like this work right here, just like shout it at your face. And they picked my resume out and they said that that's what kind of stood out to them. Yeah. And I always add photos to my resume depending on like what I'm applying for. That makes sense. So if you're applying for like fashion, you do more fashion photos. Beauty, you put more beauty photos. And I'll pick like my top 3 or more.
So that was your first internship, and I want to know how you got it, because I feel like sometimes you need an internship to get an internship. You know what I mean? People are like, so what's your experience so you can get this internship? Do you have any advice for that?
Well,
I feel like it's a lot about like fake it till you make it. I do not want to.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. You fake it till you make it. I was when I was at Starbucks, my friend Gennaro, I did have like it was kind of internship, but it wasn't really through school. He actually hooked me up with like a radio gig. So I was doing a lot of that type of photography first. It was like more event photography. So I guess that was like on my resume. So that helped me to get the CBS one, Yeah. And then I just like fixed my resume and then my website. I was just always constantly producing content, And then when I was at that interview, like I was like very eager. I asked questions. I was very well prepared, So I think just kind of like doing your own projects on the side helps you get future jobs or internships.
Absolutely. And I also think it has to do, like, if you're a creative person, I feel like especially as a freelancer, a lot of what you do also has to do with you as a person.
Yeah.
You have to show up, you have to be reliable, you have to be positive, you have to be nice to be around. So much more goes into being good at this job than just taking great photos. It's not just the technical.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was at the internship, the photo assistants, it actually was a small photo assistant community, and they would help each other out with all the photographers. And so these photographers that are shooting like billboard ads, they're working with the same photo assistants. And like, if you show up there with a great personality, you like network, you show them that you care, like they're gonna call you back. You're gonna be in with that, So it's, I think, having a positive personality on set, really, really helps you strive.
Yeah. So how long was that internship that you did?
It was a good solid 6 months. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it was a good solid, and it was honestly amazing. Like, it was the best internship. I got to go to like award shows, I was on set on television sets. Like, it was really cool. It was a fun experience, but I knew that I didn't want to be in the television industry, because they were doing more like on Netflix, like when you see those photos, like those are the images that they were doing, and like I wanted to do more fashion. Yeah. So
what happened after that?
So after CBS Studios, I graduated college, and I again went on LinkedIn, redid my resume, everything, and then I ended up applying to Forever 21. I ended up getting like a freelance opportunity there. So I was freelancing there like Monday through Friday, and then I was still working at Starbucks like throughout this whole entire thing, like at college, CBS Studios, all that. Like, I was working at Starbucks, because that was like my main source of income, But Forever 21 was amazing. These are like some of the shots I have. Like, even though I went through college, I graduated, I had my internship, I learned so much working at Forever 21, because like I was working with professional models, I was working with a team of like hairstylists, makeup artists, fashion stylists, and like it was just like a whole another thing. And they're using like ProPhoto. I don't know if you use ProPhotos. Yeah.
No, I use Ellen Chrome, but I wouldn't use ProPhoto.
Yeah, ProPhotos are nice, and you know how nice they are, but like they had ProPhoto gear, and like I learned so much there, about like lighting, interacting with models. I think is very important,
Yeah. So Sandrine said something in the chat real quick because we wanted to talk about that too. She said, when I was in photo school, you needed to pay to be an intern or photography assistant. And I think talked before this stream about if you were getting paid for your internship.
Yeah, no, I was not getting paid for my internships at all. Everything was free, which is why I kept Starbucks as like my main source of income, just because everything was free, which I think, like, I strongly believe that, like, as artists, like, we should get paid for internships, because, like, I know a lot of companies are like, well, we're giving you experience, but at the same time, like, they're bringing you onto the company because they know that you're creative, they know that you have an eye, they know that you could bring this like creative spark to their company. So it's like, I feel like it's a equal trade, you know? Yeah. So I think for sure companies should pay.
Yeah, I do believe so too. And I guess a lot of people in the chat have probably similar experiences. It's like when you start out, I don't want to say that people take advantage of it, but it's always a lot of like, they give you the feeling of you can be happy to be here. Which is like I hope changes, you know?
Yeah. And when well, for me at least, that since all the internships were free and that's what like people were normalized to, it starts to kind of bring this kind of like status of like expecting to work for free. And I didn't like that, you know, like you're expected to do things for free. And I think that just robs us as an artist, you know, because like obviously we're passionate, we love doing what we do, but I didn't like that. Yeah. So I'm very strongly into paying.
Yeah, I agree. So let's hope that in the future, I mean, I understand that you get experience from your internships and obviously you can't get paid as like a full professional that has been doing this for years, but the balance is important to find some sort of compensation that is accurate to your stage that you're in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at your amazing, I think that's round about the time we met, basically, when you were These photos are just like banger.
Thank you, man. But yeah, I always also like make it a point to like work on my own personal projects, you know? So when I was in college, CBS, and like forever, like I still would like personalize my own shoot, you know? Because like I didn't only give like photography to just like be working at a job, you know, like still was curating my own artwork. So this is like some of my favorites that I've done. There's like more on my website. But this one I did with a creative director, and we ended up just doing, she was actually a model, and then she was like, wow, I actually really like you as a photographer. I have been wanting to creative direct. I have this idea. And then I ended up falling in love with it. We curated this whole thing. And this like photo shoot has gotten me so many jobs because of like people love it. And that's why I think it's very important to like still like do your own work, you know? And like these are the free things that you should be doing to help you in the future. You know?
True. Yeah. They have been in a magazine, right? I think I saw them at Lucy's or something.
Yeah, they're in Lucy's magazine. Yeah, it was called Fur Feelings. It was like a editorial submission.
Yeah. Do you send your stuff to magazines? Just
I used to do it a lot before, but not so much right now. But I used to be like, there was this one time where I was like obsessed, and I actually created a Google sheet of all the fashion magazines that were accepting submissions. And so I would curate a PDF, basically would be like the title of my editorial, and then just samples of the work, and then be like, I would love for this to be submitted on your thing. And I literally would just copy paste and like send it to all these magazines. And like, it was wild.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, because I did that as well. Like I'm not doing it as much anymore either, because I feel like a lot of magazines have very high, not just standards, but also requirements that you have to fill out. Like it needs to be 6 looks. It needs to be the current fashion that's going on. Like they have a lot of things you have to fulfill. But I did it as well, and I feel like a lot of people don't even put that into consideration. Like put it out there, just send it and see what happens. Because that's what we did, and then like what I did with another stylist, and then it like got published, and you're just I feel like for me that was so rewarding.
It is, yeah. I remember when I first started like at Forever 21 and my coworkers were submitting, and I was like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm gonna get rejected. I feel like they're not gonna like it, and next thing you know, like everyone's like, people are accepting it, it's getting blown up. I think you even saw, like, I think you recognized my work from Lucy's magazine, and you reached out to me, and like, you know, those little things like matters and stuff. Yeah. It is very important. I should start doing it. Now you're making me think.
Me too. I'm like, maybe I should send more stuff. Now I'm thinking about it too. But I feel like as a tip for people, what I also used to do is like check what the magazine has put out in the last few months, see what the style is, see what they're looking for, because I know that some want a little bit more indie, like a little bit more film, like shot on film. Other ones like super high produced fashion. Some are more studio, some are more outdoors, some are more beauty. So if you just go through a bunch of magazines and look what kind of fits your style, send it over.
Yeah, for sure. I think you definitely, like, if you're planning to do a shoot and to submit it, go to that magazine, kind of curate your mood board to what that magazine wants, and then for sure look at the guidelines, because they are very strict. It's very like 6 outfits or designer only, no designer, or like, you know, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
But I think it's worth it. It's really, and it helps for your CV as well. Like it helps for, you can put that on your website and CV and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's good. There was a point where like I would be shooting and I wouldn't even post it on Instagram, because you know how all of them, they like exclusive.
Oh yes.
Can't do it anywhere. Yeah. So I would submit there first, and then I would post on Instagram. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna try to submit something after this. Just think about it. Just like,
I know. No. Now that we're talking about it, I was like, maybe I should submit my shoot I just did. Yeah. I'm thinking the same exact thing.
But I think I don't have enough looks, but I'll try.
You're just gonna pull it off. But yeah, so I was at Forever 21 for 3 years, and then I finally, like, I was freelance, and then I told them, I was like, hey, I want to be here. Like, I don't plan myself like going anywhere else. And then I finally quit Starbucks, and it was very scary because I was like, Forever could still drop me at any time. But I ended up being like their senior photographer, and then I ended up running the whole entire photo studio. And like, it was just a wild time there, and it was great while it lasted, but I wanted something more, you know?
Do you remember the moment you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna try this full time? Because it's this moment of like pushing yourself off the cliff. I mean, it sounds so negative, but it's this whole like feeling of like you're like jumping into the water, not really know what's coming. And was there like any moment where you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go?
Yeah, I was just exhausted, you know, like working Monday through Friday, 10-hour days at Forever, and then working Starbucks Saturday and Sunday. Like, I was just drained, and I was like, you know what, like, even if I don't get Forever 21, like, I don't need to be at Starbucks anymore. I feel like I was at a point in my career where I was like constantly shooting, you know, and it felt good and it felt liberating, but it is scary. It definitely is very scary.
Yeah. Stuart said it's a leap of faith, which probably is true.
It is true. Yeah, it's a leap of faith. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. So like, if that didn't work out, something else was going to happen. You know, I always trust like I'm going in the right direction. Yeah. But but you're a freelance photographer. You're killing it right now.
I mean, I also have like a daytime job, or like also had a lot of daytime jobs throughout the years, because I felt like I'm really all about security.
Yes.
I'm very like, what's gonna happen?
No, me too. It's our anxiety. It's our anxiety like feeding into us. Yeah. But yeah, making that leap and then getting the actual full-time position, like, it just feels good when I was like finally making all my income with photography and like what I truly love, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you first think like, oh, I want to be a photographer, you're like, wait, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna succeed? You know, you like have these thoughts in your head, and when I finally did it, it felt good. You know, it made me realize like it's possible. It's possible to make money, to do what you love, and you just gotta keep pushing.
Yeah, it's just a lot of hard work and dedication, and I feel like people have to be have to know what they're getting into a little bit. but it's very rewarding to
Mhm.
see that it pays off in the end. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
Forever 21, 3 years you did that, and you did some amazing shoots for them.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
think,
so much.
in my personal opinion, big fan of a lot of those photos.
Thank you. Those ones were great because I, like I had a whole team, and then we would go on like locations. So, like it was a lot of fun times. Like definitely was worth it. But I kind of outgrew it. I was already the studio manager, and I'm the type of person that's like, all right, I'm bored. What's next? I want to do something different. And I was like, where did I want to go when I first started photography? And I'm like, I've always wanted to be in New York. I've always wanted to be a fashion photographer out here. So I started applying jobs out in New York, and I applied to so many, like over 10 jobs. I only got two callbacks. One I didn't get. They said I was actually overqualified, which is really funny, And then the second one is what I have now is Mesa, which is like more still life. Mm-hmm. So it was very different, very challenging. And I wasn't that great at still life, to be honest. But even when I first started Mesa to what I'm shooting now, it's like I've seen a progression.
Yeah.
So it's just all about practice. But this is some of I have more on my website that I'll show you guys, but this is like what I do. So Mesa does like more beauty. So it's like hair care, makeup, and like, I don't know, just like different random.
I like these photos because for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, it really shows that you know how to use light, because I know you use constant light. Like it's not shot with a flash, it's constant light.
Yeah, these ones are because so with this brand, it's actually a Canadian brand. It's called Together Beauty. Yeah. Their whole Instagram is curated on like lifestyle and like it being just natural. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted like these deep, like they were obsessed with these shadows here,
I mean, it looks like actual sunlight. Like sun is when you have like bright sunlight coming through the window, you get harsh shadows from that.
That's literally what they wanted. And I felt like when you're using strobe, it blows out these like lines. Like you don't see these lines as much, they're more faded. And so I've learned to actually use continuous lights, which is interesting because before I was like, I don't like continuous light, I won't use them. But now like I use it, which is really funny. But yeah, it's really cool because they just show me these mood boards and it looks very natural. And like I have a window frame that I got, and I'm literally sticking that in front of a continuous light and seeing where it lands. And then they're in love with reflection. So like here, which is my favorite, which I learned from here, it's like getting glass and shooting light through the glass to get these like beautiful colors in there, and like you can't see it, but there's like a huge vase right in front of here, but I make sure to cut that out. But shooting still life has really taught me about like shadows and reflection.
I think also the composition is always so on point. Like you're like you have a really great composition of the sense of like where the lighting is going, where the product is positioned. And I feel like, especially now, probably where shooting with people is not so easy.
Yeah.
It's so great to learn because I've been trying a little bit to do product but I've never done it. But it's so nice to try out these things because you have the patience and the time, and you can just see what works and what doesn't without someone else being in front of the camera getting annoyed because you're changing the light.
Yes, exactly. I actually was going to mention this too. I feel like it's very important for photographers, like fashion photographers, to shoot still life, because when you're shooting still life, you get to focus more, and you zone out everyone's energy and like worrying about the models, and it's just you, the camera, your subject, and then the light, and like it helps you kind of like figure out, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and you take your time and like you learn a lot. Like I've learned more about lighting doing still life, and you don't think that because like I feel like you're thinking like, oh, I want to shoot this model, I want to do this, but there's so much things going on. But when you're just doing this, it's like very therapeutic in a sense, and you can focus more, and it teaches you a lot. But with composition, it's an easy trick. I can just tell you, it's all about. I'll tell you, you're like excited.
Tell me
I'll show you right now. It's all about balance. It's all about balance. So if you're putting an object on this side, you want to put another object on this side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like same thing, vice versa. I'm putting an object here. I'm putting another object here. And
you
then
make it sound so easy, but I do believe it's not that easy. It's like when you say to someone, and then you just put something there and take a great photo.
No, it's like a diagonal line. You gotta you're balancing each section of your frame. So if you're having something on one side, you're gonna want to balance it out on something on the other side. And it's all about balance. And if you look at my work, it's all balanced. Like I have a piece here diagonally. I have a little hint of something right there, and then the main subject. You know. Does that make sense? And then same.
Yeah, I also love that there like stuff that is not completely in the image, but just parts of it. Like it creates this feel of there's just so much more going on.
Yeah, because you don't want to show the whole entire project. You don't want to show the whole entire vase because I'm not focusing on this vase. I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on this. But I need to add a hint of color. Like this little color complements this, you know?
Yeah.
But it's crazy with product photography. It's all about like color palettes, shadows, what do you call it, shapes. It's crazy.
Yeah, but do you change the background color after, or do you do that in camera? Like, is it actually this greenish background, or is it changed after?
No, that one is actually in camera, but sometimes I'll send my images to my job. And then they'll change my background completely. Yeah, so sometimes they'll do that, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But this one is actually raw and true.
Yeah. And I also feel like for product photography, at least that's what I heard, what people have been telling me. It's about texture, like having some sort of texture in your photos and stuff like that to make it not just a white
background.
Tape.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's so interesting because ecom before, everyone wanted things on a white background, you know, but now because everyone's on Instagram, it's more visual art, they want things more creative, so they want more lifestyle, more texture. Like this company, they specifically wanted me to add the swatch, you know, because you're initially selling what's inside this product.
Yeah.
And then this is a current project I haven't showed anyone, so you guys are getting a little sneak peek. I just did this shoot in Chinatown with this model named Kenny. He reached out to me, but yeah, most of my work is ironically, I like it to shoot like more film, more raw. So yeah, so this is what I have. Just a little.
Cool. I also just want to go back real quick because someone else told me the same thing, because I like doing beauty photography and fashion photography, but right now it's pretty difficult. But she told me that if you take the products, like take photos of the products of the brands you want to work for, also if you want to do their beauty shots, because A, you learn about lighting, B, a lot of times when you are hired to do a campaign for a beauty brand, you're not just taking the model shots, like just the beauty shots of the faces with the products on them. Like if you can do both things, if you can do the product, like the lipstick itself and the beauty photography of the person, that's even better. Like it's
even better for them because they don't need to hire two different photographers, one for portrait, one for product, you know. And right now, like the beauty industry is doing very well, so I think you should totally get into that, you know, because like because before when I first started, it was like television, it was like, oh, it was okay. Fashion was like not, it was like, all right, it wasn't very like this. But now, like right now, beauty is everything. And you like you see it, you know, all over YouTube. And like, so. I
love it. I feel like I have a lot of things to do after the stream. Like I have to pick some stuff I want to send to magazines. I have to do more beauty stuff.
Dude, the photo you sent me was really good. The still life because you show me like when you mess around with lighting and like when you set things up, and I love it. I think it looks great. I think you have an eye for it. I know that you said that I have an eye for it, but I think you.
Maybe I'll show. People can let me know if they want to see my attempt of product photography and stuff like that. Then I'll show it one day.
Yeah. Another one thing advice too that I got when I was studying was to make like your website and your resume and like if you have like a business card, to make everything cohesive because it like stands out, you know. So.
That's what people told me too. Also, like, if you have an invoice, if you send invoices, they should be like cohesive with everything you have. Like, you should have, basically, you have to have your own brand. people should recognize your
own
stuff,
business.
wherever it is.
This is my resume now. It's more simple, but I like it. I feel like it's cohesive to my website.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see that. Let me see. See it. Oh, you guys can. Okay, cool. But yeah, this is my website. My first website, I mean, my first resume was like so crazy. It was like blue and like all these like colors and like, yeah, but now it's like very simple. But I always try to add at least like one photo. Like this one is my favorite photo I've ever done. But it's cohesive to my website, which is
also, just in the meantime, Angus just said, and I completely agree, when I worked for a photographer, he was obsessed with reflection in products. Now I can't look at a product photo without looking for them. Like if you see it, and like for me it's the same thing with texture in photos. Like I immediately see, oh, someone did that on purpose. Like they used, I don't know, silk on the table to get some sort of like texture,
shininess,
or marble to have that or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. But yeah, this is my website. It's curated to be similar to my resume.
Yeah. Do you think, because I had this struggle recently, do you think a photographer's website should be simple, being like just the photos so you see what they've been doing, or it should have some context or something to it? Because I in the beginning was really into writing about my projects, explaining everything that I've been doing, and then people were like, maybe you should just keep it more simple. And now I like dimmed it down completely, and it's as simple as it can be in my opinion. But I
think it depends on the photographer. Like for me, mine is very simple, but I think simplicity kind of like speaks more volumes. And if you want to write something, I feel like you should have like either like a blog, or like either have like a section which says blog or personal projects, and then that's when you could go in depth and explain more about the images. And so giving the viewer the option to like kind of look into it more, as opposed to just giving it to them completely.
Agree. That's also what they told me. Like what?
Yeah. And what also I learned before my website before, I used to like, obviously like you do a shoot, you're gonna love a lot of your images. You're gonna love like at least like, I don't know, sometimes 10 images, and you want all 10 images or whatever, how many. I've learned it's better to only cut it down to either 1 or 2, because if you have 1 or 2 of your images, it speaks more volumes than having multiple and like so many.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I also try to like switch it around and just keep it updated and have new things on there. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it is. This is one brand here. I'm just showing you this. This one actually, this is a new brand I work with. It's called Heritage by Mindy. I like their stuff. I like the bright colors. You know, it's like so different from this other one.
Yeah.
But it's
so
great.
I just wanted to, because we're like aiming towards the end already, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what are you having planned for the future, also like for the next year, because I feel like we need all to have a positive mindset and like looking forward, and like what are your plans, what do you want to do?
So I definitely want my own photo studio. You know, I've been talking to you about it. I'm so jealous.
I mean, you can come and join me.
I know. So I my goal is to be just completely freelance, you know, set my own rates for my photos, have my own photo studio, and just kind of build my portfolio more. I want to start shooting film more. This is like a lot of things. I want to have my own book, and down the line, this is like way down the line, but like I'm all about helping other photographers, helping them grow, helping them succeed as well. And I kind of want to have my own little photo agency where like I don't need to be the one shooting everything, you know, like if someone specializes in like, I don't know, event photography, I'll have like an event photographer and like help them grow. So I think down the line I want to have my own photo agency, because I feel like photographers don't have that. When I was at Forever 21, you know, these models have an agency, and the hairstylists, makeup artists, they all have agencies. And I felt like for photographers, a lot of them don't have anyone representing them, and I feel like we need that more. You know, it's hard. I
also think it's like, for me at least, it's always important to put stuff out into existence, to be like, this is what I want to do, kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy be like, hopefully this is, if I say it out loud,
yeah,
hopefully
it's a thought that I've had for a while. I haven't, but that's like further down the line.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
You can come to Berlin and set that up.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Have it worldwide.
Yeah. And just to wrap this up, I wanted to ask you what your like advice would be to someone starting out, or also like what advice you would have given yourself when you started out, because I think maybe we have some people watching that just started and want to know what they can do and what is important to know.
I think the best advice that I've received and what I could give is like have your own style. You know, I feel like when we first start off, we look at other photographers and we like try to be like them or replicate them. But I think once you find your like unique style, it kind of sticks out, you know, and that what makes you different from everything else. And don't compare yourself to other photographers. I feel like we all do that, and it's like the worst thing that you can do, and it just gets you in your head. And like, stop comparing yourself to other photographers, because you like that photographer is never going to shoot like you, and you're never going to shoot like them. And that's why I think it's important to have your own artistic style and let you bring to the table.
Yeah, I do think like that is something. It's very easy said and so hard to do. I feel like a lot of like it takes a lot of time. I think people have to understand that they're in for a long ride if you want to find your own style. And also I feel like, when are you even done with finding your own style? Because I don't know if I'm done with finding it yet.
You don't sometimes like you don't see your own style, but your friends and like other people, when they look at your work, they go, oh, like I see it, I see your craft, I see what like the difference, you know. True. But it is hard, but I think finding your own style is very important. And I think never stop learning, you know. I feel like with photography, it's not like, okay, well, I'm done. It's more like you gotta keep learning, you know. I think never stop learning. It's
and I feel like also there's so many like softwares and so much stuff that is constantly developing, and you have to be just on top of that.
Yes, and like all these young photographers, they're coming out, you know, and they're like killing it with all these like creative photos, and I'm just like,
don't make us sound old, Jesus.
No, we're not old, but like,
we're talking like we're like grandmas.
I know, no, we're not grandmas. But yeah, just never stop learning, and then help other photographers. You know, please reach out to me if you have any questions with lighting. Like, I love when photographers reach out to me, ask me questions, whether it's gear or anything, you know?
Yeah, I think community, like find people you can have conversations with, you can ask questions. I feel like having a creative community is really, really helpful and very supportive. That's my experience, that I'm always happy when people like reach out, or I reach out to other people, and then you have some connection and you feel like you are not alone in your struggle, because there is sometimes struggle in it, in like being a creative and also in photography. And it's so great to then have someone to talk to about that.
Photographers understand, and it's not a competition, you know. We all have to help each other get to the top and like succeed, and that's what I'm about, you know.
I completely echo that.
And
on that note, I feel like we had a wonderful 45 minutes.
That went by so fast.
Yes, I told you, it was great on the stream. It's like, it's over. It was amazing. I encourage everyone to check out Anneka's stuff. We have, I think, your website in the description. Her Instagram is amazing. She has not just product photography, but also awesome portraits and all of that stuff. So you should not miss it. And thank you again so much for waking up so early. I mean, now the sun's up. You can start your day or think off the to-do list.
Yes.
And I wanted to remind everyone out there that we have a contest at the moment here from Adobe Live. It's our festive challenge where you can win 1 year of the Creative Cloud, and it's called On the Light Side. That's the hashtag. You have to create one image, illustration, photo, video inspired by light or sun, because we want to have a positive view on the next year. And Tim's gonna post Camilo's, he is the designer where the idea came from, Instagram account and my Instagram account, because we have in the highlights of the stories all the info you need if you want to know more about it. And thank you everyone for watching today. It was really nice to have you. And Anneka, I hope you have a lovely day in New York. And
thank you for having me, dude. I appreciate you.
Yes, appreciate you. Have a great day, everyone. See you next week.